The Denver Broncos could be targeting a very unexpected position early in the 2024 NFL Draft, according to a top Broncos insider. So, as I mentioned last night, Mike Klis was courteous enough to appear on the MHRT Network's Mainly Broncos podcast last night, and he dropped several really interesting hints and theories about where the Broncos may want to go early on in the draft. He posed a scenario where if the Denver Broncos are unable to outbid the Minnesota Vikings, they could potentially trade back and still get their quarterback in the first round, hopefully accumulate an extra second-round pick in that trade, and then use that second-round pick on a somewhat unexpected position. And that position is a wide receiver, in particular, a speedy wide receiver who could potentially be a return specialist for the Denver Broncos. Now, I already know what you guys are thinking right off the bat. Gage, Marvin Mims is already on the roster and he fits that bill perfectly. Yes, he does, but with the NFL's modified kickoff rules, you have to have several players on your roster who could be effective kickoff specialists, and in the event that one guy would go down, you could have another guy who could step up to the plate relatively easily, and that would probably be the goal with this pick. Also, you could designate one guy as a kickoff specialist and then one guy as a punt return specialist. That would give you a lot more versatility in the return game, and the Denver Broncos might be moving on from Courtland Sutton depending on how these contract talks go. If he is indeed dealt away, that's going to create a clear and obvious void in the wide receiver room. So this move could actually make a lot of sense for the Denver Broncos. The question becomes, which wide receiver fits that bill in the second round? I think about guys like Xavier Legette, Xavier Worthy, maybe even a Malachi Corley. Those guys right off the bat come to my mind in terms of guys who could be dynamic, speedy threat players who could also offer something in the return game. And Mike Klis pointed to the Denver Broncos' history of taking those kind of players in the second round. KJ Hamler, 2020. Marvin Mims, 2023. Hell, even Eddie Royal all the way back in 2008 you can think of. He was a guy who was drafted to mostly be a return specialist, and he ended up actually being a pretty good receiver for the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are maybe hedging their bets a little bit as well, because Marvin Mims last year was obviously a very dynamic threat as a return specialist, but when you look at his overall production as a wide receiver, especially when you look at some of his advanced route tree statistics, he was not getting open really at all on any route except for go balls. That's not good. He's going to have to become a much more refined route runner if he's going to be the starting slot receiver for the Denver Broncos. It's that simple. So maybe the Broncos again want to hedge their bets, and if Marvin Mims fails to develop, they could insert their rookie in instead and hopefully get a similar level of production than what they expected out of Marvin Mims. So that's an interesting possibility, something that I definitely felt was worthy of making a video. I'm curious, Broncos country, if the Broncos were to get an extra second round pick in a trade back and target a wide receiver, which receiver would you want them to take? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are two free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.